Hey guys, how's it going? I just wrapped up the Olight PL mini review. Now I'm on to the Olight M2R Warrior handheld light. This has been the most requested handheld flashlight review I think you guys have ever asked me for, which is kind of a bummer because my flashlight videos never get many views. I don't know, people don't watch my channel for flashlight reviews maybe. I don't know, but I'm doing it because I like flashlights and it's a hot little item right now. There's been a ton of other reviews on them. I haven't really watched many of them, but I've seen them popping up. I just haven't had time to watch them. So I know it's a popular light. You may be sick of hearing about it, but you guys asked about it. So here it is. I'm noticing that it looks like I have dirt on my face. I forgot to shave this morning. So this isn't gonna be a regular look. It's not a good look on me. So when I don't shave for like a day, it starts looking kind of dirty. So anyways, that's not a normal thing. I grow some facial hair, but not much really. I can't grow a nice thick beard. So that's why you never see me with one, because it's just the Asian genes in me. Sorry, for those of you that don't know me or my channel, you're probably like, what's this random guy talking about facial hair for? I clicked this to watch a flashlight review. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. So here it is, the M2R Warrior by Olight. Kind of a pretty shot, huh? This isn't my normal filming setup, but I was here in front of my monitor and I just tilted my camera down and here we go. I'm using my 20mm 1.7 lens, so that's why you see that depth of field. Unfortunately, focus is kind of spotty with this lens, so we'll see how an actual review goes using this thing for the whole time. So we'll get into some of the features here. I'll go over some brief specs though. Like all my reviews, I talk about more of the usability, real life, real world use of these things rather than what you can read on their website. Having said that, I will link to this light in the video description below, as well as anything else I talk about in this video. I do that in all my videos. Clicking those links does help support the channel, so I always appreciate that. So here we are, a hot item. You've seen this probably if you're a YouTuber. It seems like Olight must be giving these things away to all the flashlight review channels, but it is cool. It's different, it's unique. It's one that I probably would have picked up regardless of if it was requested on this channel or not, but I have received a lot of requests for this light. I'll try not to fidget with this thing too much because I hear for some of you guys it kind of gives you a headache or motion sickness or something. So I'll try to keep this thing relatively steady as I talk, but I will show the features. So we're gonna start off here with the power. It is a rechargeable 18650. Now, if you've had other Olights, sorry, my magnet's stuck. It is magnetic. So this will plug into any USB and slap right on here and that'll charge. You don't have to take the light out. There's no ports that you have to plug anything into. It's very convenient assuming you have access to this. One does ship with a kit. If you're someone like me and you have multiple Olights already, I have a few of these, so I have a handful of these chargers laying around. So it's very convenient to be able to charge multiple of your Olights. This is the S1R, which is my main ride usually. It's very convenient to have multiple chargers that can, or multiple of the same charger that you can use on to recharge multiple of your lights. So a very convenient feature. The power source is by default an 18650 rechargeable battery. You probably, if you're into flashlights at all, know about those. I talked about it briefly when I reviewed the Streamlight HLX. We'll show comparisons to this light here in a little bit, but another 18650 light. Granted, you do have to remove the battery from this light to charge it. You don't have to in this light like I just showed, but you can if you need to. So tail cap screws off, nice threads, very smooth to reveal, I don't know, to allow you to remove the battery. So this can use an 18650. You can also use two CR123 batteries as well. So that'll pop in there, slap that in, you're good to go. Now this light, some of the special features about it is it's pretty small. And it's pretty bright. Well, pretty small. I mean, I use that term kind of weird because this is it compared to an Olight S1R. An Olight S1R, all the S1s really are ridiculously small. Single CR123. This isn't a review of this light, though I do have one if you're interested. Search it on my channel. I really like this light. So while I say this is a pretty small light, I mean it's small for what it is. Here we are compared to a similarly spec'd Streamlight HLX, another awesome light, but as you can see, not way bigger, but noticeably bigger, mainly in the diameter of the head bezel. Another, light that kind of falls into the same category, an Elzetta Bravo. Elzetta Bravo, again, the body is a similar size, not a whole lot longer, but the bezel is where you're going to see the main, the bezel is where you're going to see the main difference in size and carryability. And while the bezel diameter, maybe not hugely different to some of the other lights out there, typically larger bezels like this will allow it to throw further. So the HLX is a more throwy light, does have more max candela than this light. It does come at a cost, obviously, of bezel size. Now, this, while it doesn't have the most candela of the bunch, does have quite a bit of lumens, 1500 lumens out of this puppy. So that, while maybe not as focused and maybe won't punch through as easily or as far as some of these bigger, higher candela lights, does have a nice flood. So the light, I'll show some light here in a little bit, but the light it's nice. It's nice. It's a kind of, I would say, a perfect light for me. For you candela junkies out there, it won't be max, but it will be really nice. Now, the thing that makes this light unique, aside from the features that I've already kind of talked about, the size being somewhat smaller compared to other lights in this category, rechargeable, dual fuel, all that stuff is really nice. But where this thing really kind of separates itself from the pack is you have this side switch, which kind of allows you to access different modes, and you can use this much more like a utility light. So in true Olight fashion, how a lot of their lights work is you press it, and that turns it on, and it will return to whatever mode, pretty much, unless you're in a specialty mode, it will return to any mode that it was last time you turned it off. Holding it will cycle through your different brightness settings, which is nice. So, if you're saying, maybe I only need this setting most of the time, you can leave it on that. And whenever you hit this side button, you're going to come on to that mode. Also, you can long press. This is a feature I really like in kind of utility lights. You can long press it anytime to get into Firefly or Moonlight mode. This is a low lumen mode that won't do much when you have kind of bright lights, but in pitch black, say middle of the night, you just need a little utility light to find your way to the bathroom or something like that. Going into moonlight mode is really nice. That's a feature that a lot of your other more tactical lights, like the Elzettas and the Surefires and the Streamlights, their big bad boys don't have those features that kind of make this more practical EDC light for people that use their light for more than just defense. Having said that, hey, we do have a tail cap here, which is a unique tail cap. Let's get some focus here if we can. Which is a unique tail cap in that it is not rubber. It's kind of like this matte, smooth steel, aluminum looking, it's aluminum, I'm guessing. And it's kind of just barely recessed, though the feel of it is really nice. And let's kind of talk about it, why it's there, how it functions, what it does, what makes it unique. We do have some instructions on here. I haven't even read them. Looks like not pressed in all the way as momentary and pressed in all the way as on or strobe. Now I'll explain that to you real quick. There are two modes. You can program the tail switch to do one of two things. So the mode that it's in right now, and the parts of videos I've watched, this functionality was actually somewhat misquoted by a couple different people. So either they know something that I don't, or my light is different maybe and theirs was updated, but I think I'm gonna get this right and the other people are gonna maybe get it wrong, though I could definitely be wrong. So the first mode here I think is either 1000 or 1200 lumens. Again, I should do the research, but it's not the maximum brightness. So you get 1000 or 1200 lumens, and what you get out of this is, I'll try to show this in a way that you can see it. Maybe this will be better. You press it and you have your momentary light. So I'm just not clicking it in and I'm using it momentary. I can do it all day. It doesn't change the mode, just momentary, boop, 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 boop. Very easy to depress. And then you can press it all the way in and you get your constant on. So in this mode, you have momentary and constant on, and it is the same output. Always goes to max for the mode output, which is either 1000 or 1200 lumens in this mode. So regardless of if you have this on, say you have it at some medium setting, anytime you can go and you can get your special mode output here. So whether it's on or off, jumps right to the output. You never have to worry that you accidentally had it on a low setting or something. Doing this in tactical applications, you're always going to get your full power. Now I say full power, this is where it gets confusing. In this mode that I have it on now, where it's momentary and constant on, it's not the max power. It's either 1000 or 1200 lumens. The maximum output of this is 1500 lumens. Now I know this because I've tested it. It's going to be hard to show on camera, but basically in this mode, when you hold it down, you tap this, and that cycles to your other mode. The second mode here is momentary. You have your maximum output. Now this is your full 1500 lumens here right now, momentary. It's gonna cut down after like a couple minutes or whatever, like most of these lights do. But your momentary in this mode is your maximum 1500 lumens. Unfortunately, in this mode, when you press it down all the way, it doesn't go constant on, sorry, it doesn't go constant on, but when you press it past this point, you get a momentary strobe now. When I release it, it comes off. So I can press it not all the way in for a momentary maximum 1500 watts, or you can press it in all the way for strobe. Now this is still a momentary strobe. Once I release it, goes off. So you press it kind of like halfway for maximum 1500 lumens, press it in all the way from strobe. The strobe is a nice strobe. It's slow enough to be disorienting. It's not one of those really fast strobes that kind of makes a strobe pointless. It's a good strobe if you're into strobe, but a lot of people I know would prefer to have maximum with no strobe. And that unfortunately is an option that's missing as far as I know. If you know something that I don't and you actually know it, let me know in the comments below. But as far as I know, there's two modes. One is this mode where you have maximum 1500 lumens and strobe, and the other is when you press it, you get now your momentary and your constant on for 1000 or 1200 lumens. Again, I forget what it is, but unfortunately I wish there was a mode where I had moment and constant on of the full 1500 lumens. This is where I've heard a lot of people say that that's what it is. It is not what it is on my light anyway. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So those are the two modes, the two specialty modes. If you're confused, I don't blame you. It's kind of confusing, but in a nutshell, you use this to use it as a task light. This side switch, if you're familiar with the Olight S1R, will function basically in the same way as the Olight S1R, and a lot of other Olights. So the side switch is kind of your nice utility light features. And then in the back, you have one of two modes, which is kind of your tactical features. So that's what makes this light unique. Very, very usable light for a utility light, but also a great tactical application light. Granted, you're gonna have other tactical performers out there that are gonna have the button like this. So you can use them with the therm, you know, and you press it with your thumb, press this mode, and it presses, sorry, I'm trying to do this right in the camera, and you can activate the light like that because it actually protrudes. The Streamlight HLX doesn't protrude, so you can't actually use it like that, though there are people that are milling this down so that it does protrude. But anyway, so this is I'll call it recessed, which means that some people will complain that you might not be able to activate this with thick gloves, or you might, in a panic mode, you know, you might be not hitting it. I get it. I get it, but it's in use. It works really well, really easy to access. So you do have to engage it pretty far before it actually comes on. That's something that's really hard to show in a video, but it's not just like, here I am just kind of touching it, it's not going off. You do have to really press it in a little bit and press it in even further to get to your constant on function, which is strobe in the other mode. The tail cap is magnetic, which I love. I was kind of stoked. It's not really talked about much in the description. It is magnetic. Unfortunately, it is not as strong as I wish it was. The Olight S1 and S1R magnetic tail cap, you can almost hang off this thing. Not really. I mean, you can't even remotely hang off this thing. But it can fully support the light in any position. It won't slide. It'll stay exactly where you stick it. This, if you stick it on the side of a refrigerator, it won't easily support its own weight. It will kind of slide down until it hits something that will kind of keep it there, and even then barely have enough to not to keep it from not just falling right off. However, when put up onto something, it does hold firm. So magnetic tail cap, definitely love that aspect for an EDC light, a utility light. However, I do wish they made it more powerful, because the magnet isn't as strong as I wish it was. It works in some scenarios and doesn't really work that great in others. The pocket clip is nice. It does have this S feature. I kind of wish it didn't. I wish it was a traditional pocket clip. Well, I do like these style pocket clips because it does allow you to kind of like put it onto the bill of a hat and use it like a headlamp or something. This is a pretty big hefty light to use in that kind of mode, so I kind of don't see quite the functionality of it for that. And also the fact that this tail cap is, or that not this tail cap, this pocket clip is removable and reversible, so it can clip into this groove here or into this groove here. Let me take it off for you real quick. So it does flip around, so if you want to carry it bezel up, you can. And the thing is, when the pocket clip is in this orientation, you can then put it on the bill of a hat without needing to have this S clip. The reason I mention that is just because I find that this S clip on pocket clips like this just have a tendency to catch on stuff more, catch on your seatbelt or little things like that. So I don't love the S clip, and I think they could have done away with it, especially since you can mount this I keep saying tail cap, especially because you can mount this pocket clip in either orientation. So pocket clip, not a bad pocket clip by any means. In this orientation, it does allow you to deep carry the light too. So it'll, you can tell here, this is how deep it will carry. Also does have little lanyard holes. And the design and the feel of the light just feels like a solid light. It looks like a cool light. It does have the typical Olight anodized blue. Blue's not my favorite color. I kind of wish it was orange or maybe red or something, but Olight is kind of blue is their thing. So if you see a blue light like this, anodized, chances are it's an Olight. Does look good. Good looking light, good feeling light, works really, really well. It's nice that it has dual fuel. It has good output, could have a little more candela, but again, that's bezel shape. Something like this, as opposed to something like this, isn't just gonna have the throw that you might want. Having said that, I do think personally for me, the amount of lumens that this thing has and the size of it does outweigh the fact that there are other lights in similar size that have more candela. So yeah, not a cheap light. I think it's around $100 for the kit, but definitely if this light has the features you're looking for, like it does me, it is certainly an option worth looking into. It does have kind of a crenulated bezel a little bit here, though it's not really what I would call a strike bezel by any means, just kind of for looks more than anything. While I'm there talking about weird functionality, you can use it in this mode. It is flat, so you can point it straight up, turn it on if you want to. Here we have the Olight M2R Warrior in its full 1500 lumen output. That back wall there with the white curtains that are completely blown out is about 12, 13 yards. This speaker over here on the right and this whole wall is about 7-ish yards. So here we have it, and here's the strobe. Fun stuff. Olight M2R, and here we have the Streamlight HLX. You can tell it has a much more defined hotspot, therefore it will throw further and have higher candela. Very bright, very nice light, the Streamlight HLX. And here we have the M2R Warrior. As you can see, larger hotspot, a little more spill. That's what it looks like. Here we have the 1500 lumens of the M2R Warrior, and now we have the S1.
and we'll cycle through the different. This is the maximum 900 lumen output, which ain't too bad on the Olight S1R. Really like this light. Versus 1500 lumens of the M2R. We have the Olight M2R Warrior. These trees here about 25 yards. You can see pretty impressive light output all the way down there. Here we have the HLX. Again, you see not nearly as much spill, but has really nice throw. Back to the M2R.
Okay, that's it. That's it, a random little review about this light. If you have any questions about it, as always, feel free to ask them below in the comments section, and I'll